dear friends, today our nation faces the threat of a zombie outbreak. I'm here to assure you that the situation is being dealt with. I'm here to present to you what we're doing about it. I hereby introduce to you Operation Perseverance. As Napoleon Bonaparte said, victory belongs to the most persevering. And that is what we're here for, to persevere. This operation has 4 points to it. Number one, confidence. To know your enemy is half the battle. To know yourself is another half of the battle, right? So let's take a second to think about what a zombie is, right? Now, I want to keep this plan flexible. So let's not say that this is like a Walking Dead zombie, 28 days later zombie, or rage virus. We are going to strictly think about what a zombie is. It is a person that has a parasite in them that makes them lose their intelligence and just makes them eat everything, right? They attack anything that moves, basically, either animal or human, right? Something we have to keep in mind is that a zombie apocalypse realistically would only last, I say, give it 3 months, right? Because zombies, they lack a certain intellectual capacity, right? And so, a zombie, if you watch any movie, they don't drink water, right? Maybe there is a movie that I just haven't seen it, but zombies don't drink water. These guys seem to last forever, just walking around rotting. So, keep in mind, if we're keeping it realistic here, a zombie would only last, I'd give it a week, right? Because think about it, if you don't drink water, you are gonna cramp up, you're just gonna hurt yourself, right? And the body is made up of about 70% water. So, these guys aren't drinking water and only going out for flesh. Yeah, I mean, by the end of the day, an infected person is just gonna collapse because they're just desiccated. They're dried up. They're not hydrated, right? And that is the main weakness of a zombie. They cannot hydrate themselves, and if they can, I mean, I sure as hell haven't seen any zombie logistics delivering water around to all their zombie brethren. So a zombie ain't gonna last that long. And so the only way for a zombie infection to have any sense of longevity, it needs to just pass it on, right? And this is the main weakness of any zombie infection. It's not like Plague Inc., where it adapts, right? That is a much harder situation to tackle. I mean, there's a whole game about it. The key factor to our success, to humanity's success in this situation, is our ability to adapt. Now, if the zombie infection was smart, it wouldn't take away our intelligence. It would make us sick, and in that time of sickness, keep our intelligence so that as humans, when we care for our sick, that's when we spread the disease, you know? But the zombie infection isn't like that. It's just bite, snarl, scratch. It's nasty, right? And it's not going to adapt. If it does adapt, I'll get to that point later on. However, it's just a nasty infection, right? And these zombies can only spread by violently spreading it. By violently spreading the disease, that's their only chance at longevity, right? And so we need to control the severity of any outbreak by quarantining. To quarantine yourself prevents hordes from happening, right? Now, in this case, I'm responding to this very quickly, right? So, quarantine yourself. Pretend that it is a nuclear fallout situation, right? Cover your windows, cover your doors, the seams of your doors, like leading from the outside, so that, let's say these zombies can smell you, they won't smell you that good, right? And so the second part is knowing ourselves. I've already touched on that a bit, telling you to quarantine, right? We can adapt, we have each other. Zombies are just have a horde mentality, but we have a human mentality, right? And so, how the government will be responding as your world leader, how I will be responding, is in essence martial law. Not to say that we're taking power or anything extreme like that, but as I said, we have the ability to adapt and we have logistics. So, to prevent crime, um, essentially from your city looking like a purge, martial law will be enacted to help protect everybody, to prevent looting, to ensure aid. And you have to think about it this way: it will be much more easier to know who is giving aid to you and who is on the right side if they're driving like an armored vehicle or something clearly from the military, instead of just some random truck saying, "Hey guys, we're here to give you food and water." You don't know if that's just some criminal trying to trick you, right? But it's hard for a criminal. Let's say they steal a tank. First of all, they have to know how to drive the tank. Then they have to look like they know how to drive it. And then all of that, right? What is on our side is logistics. Okay? So this is confidence. Know that you are secure, that your future is secure, right? All you need to do is be calm, quarantine yourself, keep yourself safe, and just, while help is on the way, you play your part. Now, I've already touched on the second point, but it's the enforcing and reinforcement of hope, right? Now, this is by force because you have to think like most of the time when someone's thinking about a zombie apocalypse, like, man, I just I just kill myself, you know? But you have to think, because that's in a scenario where the severity of the apocalypse reached extreme measures, where there are hordes, where your house is just completely surrounded by zombies, and quite frankly, nobody wants to be torn to bits, right? And so I understand that. And that's what we are here to prevent, you know, preventing these hordes by encouraging quarantine, by securing the streets, making sure farmers are safe, preventing looting, all of these things, right? Through force, essentially martial law, right? Because if order is not maintained with discipline, well then the zombies will take over, and we don't want that. We don't want hordes running around, right? So this is prevention and the reinforcement of hope, to where you won't have to be in that position where you're on top of a van and there's a horde around you, right? So that is point two, which I've already touched on, which I just explained, is basically martial law. And it's here to not tyrannize, but to give you hope and to ensure that aid is given to any who need it.
Science rules.
Point three is research. All hands on deck, right? Just as a disciplined force is on the way to go ensure aid and security in your neighborhood and the farmers everywhere, the most capable minds will be put to work researching this disease, finding a cure, right? Not only a cure, the origins, everything about this enemy, right? Because the more we know about the enemy, the more we could properly combat it, right? So know that everybody is fighting their part of the front right now. You are not alone. We are all in this together. And part four of this operation is perseverance. All the prior points lead up to this, right? The ultimate goal is to survive this disease, to prevent the hordes, to prevent living in The Walking Dead or 28 Days Later, right? Think about it this way. Before the zombie hordes can attack individual groups, individual people, they have to face off against the hordes of humans with capable minds that can adapt to their nasty tactics, right? Quite frankly, if we prevent hordes, I mean, it's quite easy to survive a zombie apocalypse, right? Actually, think about it this way. We're preventing an apocalypse in general. It's just an outbreak, you know? We just need to keep calm, carry on. Everybody's doing their part. With cooperation and hope, we may all climb this mountain with strength and perseverance. This isn't the end of the world. This isn't The Walking Dead. This isn't 28 Days Later. Because in those scenarios, everybody got scattered. Everybody, I mean, it the world became fractured, right? I don't, I mean, 28 Days Later wasn't global. I'm not sure about The Walking Dead. But we are maintaining our cohesion. We are maintaining our union. Because together, we are unstoppable. No zombie outbreak can take down us. This is only temporary. You have me as your world leader, and the forces behind me working tirelessly to combat this outbreak, right? And we won't stop till my dear friends are safe and secure. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Stay great.